A year in the making. All those epic highs, all those punishing lows.
That was everything I had.
From underdog to champion, from hero to zero. The perfect line on a corner.
Great move by Timmy Hansen.
A turn of the wheel too far.
She's rolled and this is disaster.
A record smashed, a dream shattered. An arduous course conquered, an arduous course which conquers them. A year in the making, but it can all change on the turn of a dime. A year in the making that all comes down to this. Extreme E's Season 2 Championship decider is here.
Hyperdrive now.
Extreme E is in Uruguay, where the Season 2 Championship is still all to race for. Despite the beautiful coastline of Punta del Este providing a calm and serene backdrop for the final round, the racing was anything but. Semi 1 saw Veloce, number 99 Chip Ganassi Racing and Abd Cupra line up to battle it out for a spot in the all-important final. A disastrous start for Sarah Price after hitting the flag and getting a time penalty. She had also spun off course.
Just get back into it, focus. You are catching, keep pressing, good job.
She's coming back to this pack. She's coming for them big time. Oh, contact from behind. Taylor comes back in, clatters the back of the GMC Hummer EV, and now she downs another flag. Oh, this is going to be another 10-second penalty.
New driver RJ Anderson battled bad luck after the switch when his car door suddenly opened, resulting in a much slower pace.
Leave the door, just let it go.
He tried everything, but it was impossible to overcome the 20-second time penalty. As Veloce Racing's new driver combo of Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen were looking good.
Good job.
Anderson and Alatia will go through for Abd Cupra, and the championship hopes for this season are over for GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing.
Semi-final 2, 3 cars, 2 of them go through. Who will it be?
Green light, amazing reaction time in the middle of the grid from Sands, but looks like better traction on the inside. No, and Sands is just going to pull ahead. Gritted teeth from Sands. Or around the outside line goes Katie Munnings, just gets attacked from Sands.
Evergood will go for the inside. She's managed to make the pass. What can Laya Sands do about this? She can't have a collision here. She's got to keep it clean. She's rolled, and this is disaster for Axiona Sainz. Can she get going? She can! They are not out of this yet. Incredible.
Go on, Laya Sands.
Venga, no ha acabado, Laya, no ha acabado.
Despite Carlos pushing his battered car as hard as possible, he could not reel in Neon McLaren. The Axiona Sainz team's hopes of winning the season championship would end here. But it was Timmy Hansen who was clear out front.
The Genesis Andretti United team of Timmy Hansen and Katie Mannings coming through to take the win.
Great job to Katie. Great start. Great car, thanks. Was nice.
With number 99 Hummer EV and Axiona Sainz now out of the running for the championship, the chance of winning for RXR and X44 grew that much closer. At every race location, Extreme E works with local organisations to help raise awareness of local environmental issues and help them with projects that will leave behind a positive legacy. As Punta del Este sits on the coast of Uruguay, here the championship has partnered with the OCC to help protect Uruguay's coastline and the ecosystems that call these waters home.
OCC is a cetacean conservation organization based here in Uruguay. working mainly with environmental education, responsible tourism, and the proposal of the creation of marine protected areas.
With any Extreme E race week, before the drivers get in their cars, before they see the race course, we take them out into the communities, we take them into the legacy projects that we've chosen. It really helps with our fan engagement, helps with exciting people about, you know, the purpose-driven message of Extreme E. It's so important to get the drivers at the heart of that.
As part of their legacy project in Uruguay, the Extreme E drivers visited Lobos Island, home to both sea lions and fur seals, as the championship works with the government to promote effective ecotourism in the region.
We are going to the Sea Lions Island, that is 5 miles in open ocean. There are sharks like everywhere, but we have no reports of biting or problems with human beings, never.
Are they colorblind?
So we're here today to take our drivers to go snorkeling with the sea lions. We've got the second largest sea lion reserve in the world here in Punta del Este. And what we want to do is get them up close and personal with these amazing species that call these waters home.
Thank you. Go for a nice little dive in.
It was amazing. That's my first time being up close to a wild sea lion before. They are absolutely massive. When you're in the water, it's quite intimidating at first, but actually they're just so curious. I think it's one of those places where you come and you realise like how special the nature is around here.
The partnership with Extreme E, it was a very interesting surprise, but we realized that we are aiming the same goal, thinking about a positive impact as a species.
That's the kind of experience that you never forget, you know, being so close to the natural environment, and that's the spirit. You know, we have these drivers understanding, coming to our world and bringing our world to their world, the conservation coming together with the motorsport.
Over 5,000 kids from this area have taken the same experience we just did, and it's a real forward thing that they're doing here, where they take classes out there and experience that particular island and all the wildlife that's there. Now they know there's a lot of other things under the water. For a championship that's only 5 rounds, the level of experience you get as a driver is really over the top. Experiencing the actual environment that you're racing into this extreme is just an amazing opportunity.
This is a very important moment to be aware of the importance in protecting the oceans, because it's what supports all our life in this planet too.
After a thrilling semi-final which saw 2 of the 4 contenders for the championship drop out of the running, all eyes were on the crazy race. Qualifying session 1 had been disastrous for RXR, and a technical failure in Quali 2 left them fighting for the title in arguably their most important race yet. Joining them was championship rival X44, who also crashed in Quali 1 and then could only finish 4th in Quali 2. These 2 competitors knew it was all on the line as the final crazy race of Season 2 got underway.
Molinaro, Arlen Kotlinski, Gutierrez and Horsas. It's game on in Extreme E. And look at those 2 title rivals going together all the way. It's RXR versus X44 out in front. Who's going to get to the turn first? They take the bounce aggressively. The car flips forward. RXR have got a bad landing. X44 take the lead away from them. They're going to come back though. Arlen Kotlinski looking for a way round. She can't find it at the moment, and it's X44 that take the lead. They take the turn and it's almost 3 abreast. There's contact. RXR turn round. More context as JBXE then smash into them. Wowzers, this is a donkey derby of a race.
That was carnage, wasn't it, for RXR? They've got contact again. This is not what they need. Arlen Kotlinski runs deep into the side ahead of Horsas. Horsas is off the side of the road, and RXR have dropped back as well. So Molinaro into P2 now. Rosberg X Racing are just where they didn't want to be. They're a long way back. Oh, is that damage on the car? The front right doesn't look like it's facing the right direction. They've had 2 bits of contact in that first couple of corners. X44 out front and leading. Could they steal the championship at this final round? You're on board with Arlen Kotlinski now. She's busy on the handbrake, Jenny. It looks like a nightmare.
The steering's gone. You can see those front wheels just pointing towards each other.
Carnage on track knocked JBXE and RXR out of the action.
It's not working. I can barely turn.
A bitter ending for the current championship leaders, on their fight for the title. It was now a two-car crazy race between X44 and Excite Energy.
Loeb's got to win this. He's got to win this for a chance to get through the championship. So he's got to keep it clean, but he's got to try and get past as well. X44, Vida Carbon Racing with Sebastian Loeb at the wheel, giving himself every chance of still trying to compete for this championship.
Fair play to Compact. He's going with Loeb pretty well here for a guy who's got no experience compared to a guy who's got 9 World Rally Championships. 1 lap to go for X44. As long as they finish in this position, they go through to the final. At one point this morning, I thought we might see all 4 protagonists go through when we looked at the lineups, and it's gone completely the other way. This has been, I think, the wildest weekend ever in Extreme E.
Oh, it's certainly got everybody talking about this championship, hasn't it? So many twists and turns.
A determined Sebastian Loeb extended his lead and flew through the course to take this crucial win.
Sebastian Loeb for X44 coming down towards the line. They've done the job they needed to do to keep their championship hopes alive. Fist pump, he knows they've got that done. Gutierrez and Loeb are through to the final.
For the first time in its history, Extreme E is racing near to a city centre, that of Punta del Este in Uruguay. To mark the occasion, the Odyssey 21s took to the city's streets with their drivers in tow to showcase the all-electric SUVs in action.
It was super cool to be able to drive our Extreme E cars in this urban environment. There were so many people out on the streets. It was great waving to everyone, and yeah, it was really, really cool.
Yes, it was a really cool experience to drive here in Punta del Este through the streets, you know, see all the people, wave to them.
One of the things about Extreme E is bringing it to the people, and as you can see here, we've brought it to the people of Punta. It's an opportunity for the fans to get really close to the drivers, and also for the drivers to get feedback from the fans.
A break from the tradition of the off-road extreme terrain these drivers and SUVs are used to, the event presented a special opportunity for the drivers to engage with their fans in a way they never had before.
It's super cool to be downtown here in Punta del Este, right on the beach, and seeing so many people. It's a great evening here, and everyone's excited. We're just about to go sign some autographs. There's the music playing, people are speaking. It's just a great vibe.
I think when you're watching it on TV, you don't get a sense of how big these cars are, how impressive they are. So be able to bring them into this urban environment and showcase them is really exciting.
Los jóvenes haciendo cola para sacarse una foto, firmar un autógrafo. Pero es un sueño para quienes les gusta el deporte del automovilismo, eso es un sueño que es posible cumplirlo, y eso es muy lindo. Poder cumplirle sueños a la gente es muy lindo.
Extreme E uses the platform of Elite Motorsport to find solutions to the climate crisis. This unusual commitment to both science and racing was originally a surprise to climate experts, including Professor Carlos Duarte, who forms part of Extreme E's scientific committee.
I must confess that I was never a fan of motorsports at all. In fact, I had a relatively negative perception because burning fuel and making a lot of noise for fun wasn't really something that I considered consistent with my own values and principles. So when I was approached by Extreme E, I was a bit skeptic about the proposition. Then I learned more about Extreme E. I learned that there was a commitment with spearheading the development of new solutions for sustainable mobility with an emphasis in communicating climate science and climate action to the public. And that public is a lot broader than the public that we usually get to talk to. I grew up in Spain in a relatively rough neighborhood. Then my very likely outcome will be to either get into drugs or some sort of breaking the law. But in the 70s, when I was a teenager, I got a scholarship to go to a boarding school. My program continued into being funded for university. So then I chose biology, but it was almost nearly a random choice. I was not really interested by what I was being presented with until I was confronted with ecology. And at that time, I was going away to Canada in the summers and working in farms and then wandering around national parks And that was a discovery of the peace that nature brings to my soul. And therefore I was interested in contributing to that path of discovery and why we had this relationship, a spiritual relationship with nature, and do that through science. After my 25 years of research, I wasn't very optimistic on the future of the ocean or the planet altogether. But then I reflected that I did not go into science to become a notary of the demise of the oceans, then was motivated to work on solutions and try to solve these problems, and eventually developing the solutions into action. And one of the main outcomes of that path in search for solutions was the development of the concept of blue carbon and how healthy marine ecosystems can contribute to mitigate climate change. We need to work with policymakers, we need to work with the private sector, we need to work with communities, and we need to work with communicators so that the scope for those solutions are shared and people are mobilized into deploying them in nature. I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy working with Extreme E, finding an entirely different way of communicating science that is embedded in action sports to sectors of society that we never get to communicate to, and if their heroes are committed, they will be committed too. It is precisely the role of science to push the boundaries of the possible every day, and the prerequisite is that we should not give up.
The cars lined up for the last on-track encounter of the season to decide who would take the title home. Emotions were on edge in and out of the cars, with RXR helpless to stop X44 in their final attempt to become champions. For Loeb and Gutierrez, only the podium would do to make their dream come true.
Green light for the final time in 2022. Everybody going to converge into the middle of the grid. It's a great start by Nasser in the middle. Sebastian Loeb getting hung out to dry on the outside. Next to him, Kevin Hansen. Timmy Hansen now coming up the inside for Genesis Andretti United. Gets in the door of Alatia in the dust cloud. Kevin Hansen drops back. Sebastian Loeb fires up the inside. Perfect start for X44. Nasser Alatia making a move on his inside line now. What's Sebastian Loeb going to do to try and get past now? He runs a little bit deep in the next corner. He's been passed by at least two cars. Contact now with Veloce. Loeb runs off to the outside. Absolute carnage at the start.
The racing was close, with Nasser Alatia keeping out front with a great gap. But the sand and dirt kicking up behind was making it hard for the other drivers to keep the cars on track.
Loeb has just gone into the back of Andretti United, is trying to find a way past, but visibility really poor out there right now.
Kevin Hansen missed a gate there, Jenny in the dirt in the background, and the Veloce machine, he went left of one of the gates. That'll be a penalty for them.
With Sebastian Loeb not able to pass Timmy Hansen, the changeover in the switch zone was key for X44 Vida Carbon Racing.
Gutierrez is going to have the drive of her life if they're going to win this championship.
With a bigger advantage for Abt Cupra and the stunning performance of Clara Anderson, the real battle was at the back of the pack.
Contact for X44.
Gutierrez now is within a fighting chance of getting up towards Munnings. She is flinging the X44 machine around in the background. She's desperate. Can she win the title for them?
Katie 1.5 delante.
Push the whole time. She's got to take some risk. There is no risk versus reward now. It's the championship or nothing.
A few seconds later, in this nail-biting battle, the stewards announced that Genesis Andretti United had received a 7-second penalty for speeding in the switch zone, a decision which could become the championship decider.
Andretti tiene un penalty de 7 segundos, tú mantente cerca.
So that gap has to be 7 seconds now between P3 and P4. If it's any less than that, X44 will take the championship.
So it's Anderson who brings the car home.
Amazing job, amazing job.
In second place, it's going to be the McLaren coming through. Oh, it looks so tight between Andretti United, but the champions will be X44 with a 7-second time penalty for car number 23. That looks like it is enough. X44 have won this championship.
With the situation out of their hands, RXR could only watch as the title slipped out of their grasp by the closest of margins. But pure joy for the Abt Cupra team as they took the top step of the podium at the Energy X Prix for their first ever event win. However, It was Cristina Gutierrez and Sebastian Loeb who had done just enough to take the championship by 2 points over RXR in second place, with Acciona Sainz finishing the year in third. Extreme E's second season had proved to be even more dramatic than its first, with the title fight coming down to the very last seconds of the final race, here at the Energy X Prix.
We spent 2 years trying and trying and trying, and sometimes we had bad luck. Finally we had luck in the correct moment, and I think finally we deserve it, and we are very happy.
Before Chile, I was not really optimistic about our chances, but this morning for me the chances were looking better than when we arrived here, because already we knew where we have to go, what we have to do. We knew that we have the crazy race. RXR will be in the same race as us, so we need to win this one, and that will be important for the rest. So we managed to do it. Now we are here. For sure it's nice to share that with Cristina.
The weekend was like a roller coaster because we need to win everything to win the championship. After my crash, all the possibilities down, totally, my mind also down, and we try to get like with a positive mentality, we try to be step by step.
From that point, we didn't know what will happen, what we can do. Finally, we heard that we should drive the spare car. Okay, we go for this and try to go for the traction challenge first. I was thinking we have 0 points in Q1, so okay, if I score 3 points, 7, 8 points in the Q2, maybe I will still be in the crazy race. So I said, okay, I take this opportunity, let the gap, open my line, take it full speed, and I think that was a good strategy because we were able to do a very good time in the traction challenge that was not beaten until the end of the race.
It was amazing because he had only one chance with a totally new car, with another setup.
I was braking less because I was struggling to touch the pedal. So I had a little mousse in the back, and the pedals were a bit far, but finally it was good. Huh? And then we had to go step by step, arriving in a crazy race. We spoke and I said, we have nothing to lose. We need to be first. It's what she did. She did a great start and managed to take the lead, increase the lead. And finally I had just to fight a little bit with Excite. Yeah, I think we did a really good crazy race, and that was the key of the end of the weekend. We spoke about this strategy before the start of the final. We said, doesn't matter how it goes, we need to go to the end, do what we can, even if we are fourth or fifth, try to keep focused and go to the end without mistakes.
We tried to do our best from the beginning. We knew that if we continue with the traction challenge, we only need the third, but also still difficult because the other cars are crazy fast. When I took the car in fourth, I knew in this moment that I need to overtake Katie, and it was not easy. I tried to do everything also with cool mind because in the middle of the second lap my engineer told me something about a penalization, and I tried to be close as possible to take the advantage, and sometimes with the dust it was impossible. You maybe miss the track, the flag, and it was a very intense moment for us. But finally we made it, and it was an amazing moment for everyone. I think it means a lot for the team. They work a lot from the beginning of the season one with some accidents, some things, and they put everything on the table to try to give us a good car with a good setup and everything. So I think for them it's a very nice moment also, and I think we are enjoying as a team, and it's the most important thing.
I'm happy of what we achieved this season, and this championship for me is very different from what we saw in the past, but the level of driving is really high because you can see the names of the drivers, and you have a lot of world champion driving in it, coming from rallycross for most of them. So to be able still to fight with them and at the end to win the championship, I think I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of the job we made together. Cristina is really invested in improving in her driving, and so we worked together a lot this weekend, and to win at the end the championship, that's a great result for me too.
Means a lot because this is a very great championship. I think from the last year we try everything to catch Rosberg. Finally, with a little bad luck in some races we can't, and this season it was very nice races. Also in Chile we won and finished like this with this type of roller coaster makes like a very nice moment for me, and for sure is one of my best moments in my career.